Josephine, where's my sister? Hey, Joni, come here. You gotta sit down here.
Keep your mom company. Yes, you, Jody.
Here we go again.
Yes, come on.
You want me to sit here?
Yes, in the spotlight.
I'll sit here.
Well, I just found out that I have to give a toast.
You
And I
have
don't really know what to say, but I'm going to look at the notes that I just made a few minutes ago. Don't expect too much.
Quiet!
But please be quiet.
There.
My mother was born a long, long time ago. She's very old.
It doesn't look
Hey, no, it doesn't look it. But she has a lot of memories. My mother has known a lot of interesting people. Abraham Lincoln. George Washington. Moses. Yeah. But my Aunt Lois, where's my Aunt Lois? My Aunt Lois always said my mother, her older sister, was usually a very nice girl. Usually. My Aunt Lois said my mother sometimes would squeal on her.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. One time, my Aunt Lois said she accidentally wore my mother's blouse. And somehow it got... Blue satin. Somehow it got torn.
Somehow.
And I'm sorry to say my mother squealed on her. And my Aunt Lois got in trouble.
Big trouble.
Big trouble.
I worked a week for that
Yeah. And my Aunt Lois talks about that all the time. All the time. But, like all young women, like all young women,
You better be good to me.
my mother wanted to marry somebody very nice,
And she did.
somebody very peaceful,
And she did.
meek, and mild.
Sure.
And she married an Italian.
Where's the Carson Polo?
But soon after they got married, I came along. That's the best thing that happened to them. One thing I remember when I was growing up is that my mother was always telling my father, asking him some questions. But it was always a directive. It wasn't a question. It was always saying, she was always saying, "You're driving me crazy. Take me to Camarillo," which was a state mental hospital. This I remember. I don't know. That's why I'm saying this. I have to tell the truth. But we were happy. We were happy. My mother, my father, and myself. The three of us, my mother, my father, and myself, were very happy.
Somebody came along.
But one day, it was a cloudy day. It was raining, the fog, lightning, smog, hail. There was an earthquake. My mother said to me, "There's going to be an addition to the family." I was happy. I was jumping like a rabbit. I thought I was going to get a dog. I got a sister. She drove me crazy. My mother is a great gardener. Look at the yard. Look at the hill. She's great. She's a great cook. She's also, nobody knows this,
heard of this.
She's a great magician. Yeah. If you see a wine on the a gallon of wine on the bottom of the table, one day, the next day it's gone. Where did it go? She made it disappear. Last year we went to Croatia to visit the place where my grandfather was born. We drove up into the hills, way back in the hills. Her relative served us a wonderful lunch. Ham, we had seafood, and homemade wine. My mother showed them how she made wine disappear. But they weren't impressed because they already knew that trick. Every Croatian and Italian knows that trick. It's nothing new. But she's fit as a fiddle. Look at her. She did the musical chairs. She's fit.
I know.
Last year she was working on this hill that slopes about 90 degrees. Pulling weeds in a 100-degree temperature, and she rode down the hill. And she bruised her knees, brushed herself off, and walked back up the hill to pull more weeds. I heard the neighbor across the street ran up the street and said, "Hey, you're crazy!" He offered to drive her to Camarillo. We're all here to say happy birthday.
I'm not saying no more to you. You're not know nothing no more.
How much we love you. And we're all crazy about you.
Yeah.